talk about, I guess, the MCU's current state because it's a mess. Yeah. Can't even. I mean, a lot of people are realizing at this point. You can't even hide it. It's a mess. I mean, after She-Hulk, it's so obvious how bad the MCU is right now and how DC is actually getting better. Which I'll make a video about the DC and the right choices they're making. But yeah, as for the MCU, yeah, it's just gone downhill. I didn't realize how bad things were getting until Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, that's when I was like, oh man, something didn't feel right with that movie. And as the movie went on, like as time went on with the movie, I don't know, I started to notice all the flaws and how a lot of the previous stuff they've been making as well, like Hawkeye, especially Loki. Like Loki's probably the worst thing they've ever made, man, in my opinion. That show was terrible, in my opinion, anyway. Yeah, I mean, some people would say like the second Thor movie would be probably a lot worse, but to me, Loki's like the worst thing the MCU has ever produced. To me, I mean, people hate on Eternals, but that's at least okay, but nothing brilliant though. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I actually heard from people, but it's still not that great either. Yeah, What If? I like the show, but it does nothing for the MCU. Black Widow, I liked it, but it could have been better. Falcon and the Winter Soldier hasn't aged well. WandaVision definitely hasn't aged well because of Doctor Strange ruining the story. For Wanda, I don't even care for Captain Marvel 2 whenever that comes out. Moon Knight was boring. Like Loki, well, Loki was even worse because it had a terrible story. Like it could have been done so much better. It had potential, but they just they didn't care. And somehow people still liked it. I don't understand. I fell asleep multiple times trying to watch an episode every time. The only true great episode from Loki was episode 5 with that other Loki. Yeah, the comic book accurate Loki. Like, he was amazing. Yeah. I mean, the only things I might be looking forward to is Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Blade. They might be still good, but most of the stuff that are coming out, they're going to be trash. I mean, Love of Thunder, I haven't watched that yet, but I just heard how bad it was, and since Thor's my favourite character, I can't really see him at his worst. I can't, man. I mean, the trailers look cringy enough, so when I saw the second trailer, I was like, and with how my opinion formed with Doctor Strange 2, I was like, no, I'm done, man. I'm not watching another character get ruined, man. I can't see another OG get ruined by modern Marvel with their woke personality, and I just don't know what Marvel's doing. It's like I don't even know what to do anymore. And then seeing how bad She-Hulk is, where she's twerking and all that, and making Bruce Banner look like he's nothing, and she's way better than the Hulk, and changing the storyline with how it should have went, because basically, like Hulk's cousin is basically dying, but he basically saves her by giving blood, but it kind of mutates her, and she becomes She-Hulk. I mean, that's how the story's supposed to be, but they kind of completely changed it for some reason. I don't know why. But to be woke or whatever. Yeah. Instead of making, well-made, female characters like they did with Black Widow and many others, they're just kind of using these woke agendas and stuff just to try force you to like them, even though you won't. Like Captain Marvel's like the definition of forcing you to like a character that isn't well developed, compared to Black Widow, which I was a huge fan of Black Widow. Yeah. I kind of miss her, man. And I kind of wish she got a better sent off, because her movie could have been so much better as well. Yeah. Shang-Chi, a lot of people love that, but to me it's overrated. I'd say like the first act and half of the second act is good, but the rest of it is just boring, and then the CGI is terrible, and just the final battle could have been better. It's like, I feel like later on people are going to realise that Shang-Chi is kind of overrated, like how Black Panther was, but at least most of the movie was actually good. It's just that the final act was not that good. Yeah, it was the same as Shang-Chi, basically, the final act for Black Panther, but majority of the movie was still good, and that was the times where MC was still good as well. So yeah, and it just sucks what happened to Chadwick Boseman, and I'm not really excited for Black Panther 2. I'm more like intrigued to see what they're gonna do with it, but I'm not excited. Yeah. And I don't know if they're going to replace him, which is kind of disrespecting him in a way, because they said it wasn't going to replace him, so like I said, I guess we'll see what they'll do, I guess. Yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I don't care about that because the last one was even though it had a better villain than the first movie. It was still a movie. Blade, I'm scared if they're gonna ruin him. Same with Daredevil. That's another one where I don't want to see him get ruined, man. But it's gonna be hard since it can't be the real Daredevil. Since, you know, the Daredevil that I know was R-rated from the Netflix show, and they shouldn't that shouldn't have got cancelled, man. Unless it's gonna be R-rated, it's gonna be hard to want to watch that. I mean, I'll just listen to the reviews first, and then I'll watch it. Other than that, because Daredevil is like one of the best TV shows of all time, and one of the best superhero TV shows. It was so good. And seeing what they did to Wilson Fisk in Hawkeye, it was so disappointing. Yeah, and I feel like I just wasted time watching that show as well. And I don't even care about Echo now, even if Wilson Fisk is in it. Like, that's not Wilson Fisk. They made him a joke in that. Like, he was such a terrifying villain, and they just made him a joke in Hawkeye. Yeah, they said it's not the same one, but to me it's the same actor, so it still looks bad to me. Yeah. But yeah, really the only things I'm looking forward to is Guardians and Blade. But other than that, I'm mainly done with the MCU. I don't even, because normally I'd do everything I could to keep up with everything, but I still haven't watched Moon Knight. I still haven't watched Love and Thunder. And that Miss Marvel show. I don't care. I'm not watching trash. I can't watch trash anymore, man. I can't. I did it with Star Wars, but yeah, I'm not doing it with the MCU. No. And yeah, when it comes to Star Wars, I'm only going to watch the good shows that when I hear they're actually good as well. They better not mess up Ahsoka, man. She's my favourite Star Wars character. She's the only reason I'm a Star Wars fan, so if they mess her up, oh my god. Man, and we've only got Mandalorian then, that's just messed up, man. To think that we only have Mandalorian that's good, if they don't get Ahsoka right, because Obi-Wan, oh my god, that could be like a completely different video, man. I'm not talking about Star Wars right now. That can be a completely different video. But yeah. Right now, DC looks like it's going to be way better. Black Adam looks amazing. Character C Shazam as well. Shazam, yeah, looks like it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward a lot more to DC stuff right now than the MCU. MCU's just falling apart, sadly. Because I spent 11 years of my life loving the MCU, from my late childhood to, you know, teenage years, like up to the lates, and it was like my early adulthood. I was like, man, the MCU's fallen, man. It's really fallen from where it was, man. 2019 was probably the last good year for Marvel. Like, Endgame was a perfect ending to me, and everything that's come afterwards, it's been a mess. They can't continue without Cap or Iron Man, or, I mean, Thor's not even Thor anymore, from what I've heard, so, yeah. I can't continue with this, man. It's sad to say it, but I have to move on now, because DC, like, they're getting better now, and the same will happen with Star Wars if they don't get better. I mean, because The Mandalorian's not going to be on forever, so that's going to end eventually. And if that was the only good thing, then yeah, I'll just move on from Star Wars too. But I didn't really care as much for Star Wars anyway. It was like the Clone Wars TV show that I loved, and that's pretty much it. I really like the movies, and I'm talking about like the early movies, even some of the prequels. But yeah, maybe one day Marvel can be good again, but I guess it's DC's time. Yeah. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you still like the MCU? If you do, then yeah, good for you. But for me, it's not what I like anymore. It's not the MCU that I grew up with, and sadly I have to move on. But yeah, I'll see you next one, guys. Have a good day, and peace.